uncle. Good question though. Good question. A trap was set for my uncle. The guy who brought the war, or one of his generals, said, that to he needed to go somewhere so they can do peace, so they can talk peace, and it was a trap, and they captured him and tortured and killed him, and they recorded it. It's actually on YouTube. I can literally go to YouTube right now and type in his name, and it'll pop up.
Oh my God.
So, well, I was actually playing that day in Ivory Coast. Want to send someone to fetch me, I guess. And when I got to the house, my stepmom, my auntie, the man of the house, and his wife, they was waiting for me out front. And when I got up, there was like, we've been watching the news, and they capture Uncle, and they've been they're torturing them and stuff like that, and it's being broadcast live.
Our guest is here now. I finally got him on. For the listeners out there who might not be familiar with him, this is our good brother Charles DJ Swift. How you doing, brother Swift?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, we play some applause right quick, man. Hold on a second, bro. Hey, and we not live recording either. This is all pre-recorded right now too, Swift. So you don't got to worry about messing up or being too proper.
We good.
Mm-hmm. Hold on a second. I gotta let my applause stop.
Swift, my brother, what's happening?
Not much, sir. Not much. Well,
good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
We gotta link up here real soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is my good brother out of Lincoln, Nebraska. I want to have him on the show, man, because last year me and Swift got to build a relationship. We got to come down here to Austin and kick it with me or whatnot, and I felt like he had one of the most like interesting stories I've ever heard in my life. So like from because you're an immigrant for the people who don't know, but I want to let you get into telling your own story.
Whoa, but I'm not an immigrant.
Not an immigrant. Do you consider yourself that?
Well, I don't know. No, like when I was overseas, I was an immigrant there, but not here.
Oh, but not here. So it was the opposite.
Yeah, it was the
opposite. Oh, it was the opposite. Okay. Like I said, that's why I wanted you to tell your story because it's super intriguing. But I want you to kind of start from the top, bro. Like, tell me the story. Like, how'd you get overseas? What happened that brought you back over here? You told me a story about your uncle, if you remember. I'll let you touch on that a little bit. You can give as much as that as you want. But I kind of want you to tell your story starting from the beginning.
Well, first of all, you guys already in this meeting, so I didn't. I already know Trey.
Oh, my bad.
I don't know.
That's right, I did.
Two people to the yeah. So
yeah. You met Leslie. You met Leslie in Nebraska before.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Leslie
has to do at the bottom, right?
No, Leslie is our female Leslie. Co-host. Yes,
we met. Oh yeah. We met at Gravity. We met at Gravity. Mm-hmm. That's right. Y'all was sitting over there. Y'all look like y'all was just having a good time. Y'all don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, that was her.
Listen, man, it was the first time.
I'll probably be just raped. Okay.
I really sent a group of black people just sitting over there enjoying the music, drinking, socializing, and not doing the mostest with the whatever. You know what I mean? You guys, it's like if I was just chilling somewhere else, I could figure out that y'all was from out of town. because y'all was just sitting there socializing, having a good time, and not really.
We call that sophister ratchet.
Yeah, we sophister ratchet.
That's what we call that.
That's
I
my
gotta use that. I gotta use that one.
That's my good brother Blaze right there. That's the one that you didn't meet. That's it. Blaze is in Arizona.
What's happening?
What's up,
I'll meet you, bro. I'll be out there soon.
Yeah, he'll be out there.
Word.
Yeah.
So, my name is Charles Breeze. I go by DJ Swift. Before DJ Swift was created or invented or thought of, I was born in Akron, Ohio. So, my father's from Africa, and he came to America on a scholarship. Basically, they picked all the smartest people within this country called Monrovia, Liberia. It's right next to Sierra Leone, Ghana, Guinea, Ivory Coast, and stuff like that. It looked like a shoe, maybe. So my uncle was part of the government, and before, I would say, because I was in Africa when the coup d'etat happened, but he was in the military, and they pushed this program where all the smart people get to come to America to go to whatever university to acquire some education that can go back home and be a key member in the government. So my father came up here. He went to Akron, Ohio, of all places. He went to Akron University, and of course he met my mom. One thing led to another. Here I am. But his path ended, and he had to go back to Africa. Well, that my mom, at the time, back in the 80s, man, drugs was cocaine is a hell of a drug,
Right.
So they didn't have that relationship that parents should have had, but he left. I was here. Things got really rough for my mom, and she tried to give me away. She tried to put me up for adoption. My grandmother heard the news, and she took me away from my mom, and she called my dad and said, "Listen, you got to come get your kid, or else you're gonna end up in the system." So my father came up here and took me back to Africa. I was 4 years old when I went to Africa, and when I got there, man, it was a beautiful place. When I came back home, and when I was living when I moved to Philly after Ohio and Kansas City, in Africa, it was like limited to TV. So when I got here, and everybody woke up to me like, "Yo, man, was y'all wrestling tigers and shit over there, or do you guys wearing any clothes?"
Yeah, typical
and I used to,
shit.
Yeah, basically Discovery Channel watchers.
Right.
But I lived in a house. I wore clothes. I spoke English, really simple. If I'm around my family, I can literally switch my voice just like that. And to the point you would hear bits and pieces of it, but it's like real simple English. We don't emphasize on the words. We don't do anything. It just flow.
Mm-hmm.
Then I also have another dialect of my father, because he's from a tribal nation, and my grandfather was the king in that town, and but that tribal language I never try to learn. It's just too complicated to learn. I learned the basics. I want to go to school. I want to eat. I want to drink, and my name. Mm-hmm. I feel like that was a survival.
I don't want something that you said to get lost on people. You said your grandfather was the king of that town, that tribe.
Yeah, he was the king of that village that was living in.
What was the name of the village?
It's called Zwedru.
Mm-hmm.
So living in Africa, it was cool. Of course, I lived in a house. My father, my stepmom. I had, I would say I had 3 brothers, but one passed away. And I had about 4 sisters in the house. And we all, my father, he got his master's in English while he was up here. And then when he went back, he became the head of the school board of the entire country. And he also had his hands in politics. So, we was well off.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I would say 86, 86. My uncle decided to plan a coup d'etat where they overtook the. You see over here, you guys call it the White House. Back there, it's kind of, I won't say it built the same, but it's really really nice. It's called the Mansion. So him and his soldiers overtook the mansion. They assassinated the president. I mean, that stuff was on TV where they lined up everybody on poles on the beach and executed them, and then he became the president. And then my father, he became really heavily into politics. I mean, man, the boys had their own driver and vehicle. The girls had their own.
I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm just about to ask, like, with that type of lifestyle, did y'all have to have like security for y'all and stuff like that?
Nah, we just. I mean, we had our own. Like I said, the boys. We had our own car and our own driver. I guess he was kind of like the driver and the security. I guess you would say, but we ended up. My father ended up building a house in a town that him and our uncle bought, like a really big area. So we wasn't really living, where you can walk outside and see neighbors. We live like in a secluded area. It was like farms all around us and stuff, but it was basically in the city. And Montrell's gone.
Oh, he'll probably be back. You good? You keep going.
Later on in 1980, and I can remember this day very, very well. We got taken out of school, and we got home. And when I got home, when the boys got home that day, well, I got pulled out of school by myself, and I was taken to my father's office. And by the time we got home, none of my brothers and sisters were home. And I kept on wondering, like, where's everybody? And then my stepmom showed up. She had my youngest brother and my youngest sister with her. And then we left and went to see her mom. Later that night, we got put in a car and we drove overnight from Liberia to Sierra Leone. It was like hours. I never knew what was going on. I remember that night like it was yesterday because my father hit a dog that night. And I remember my mom was in the back seat and she was telling him not to stop, just to keep going. So from Sierra Leone, we waited a day, and then we hopped the plane, and then we went to Nigeria. And then it was when I was told that there was a war going on, and it was about to hit the inner city. So I lived. My father stayed. I didn't know where my other family, my brothers and sister were. At the end of the day, is a stepmom. So she basically got her two kids and me because I'm an American citizen. If anything, me being in Africa, if anything would have happened to me, there would have, my father and my stepmom would have been held responsible, So it was, she had to take me. Mm-hmm. But if I wasn't, I would have got left behind. So we're in Nigeria, and we lived there for a while. And then I went from Nigeria, things wasn't really working out. We went to Ivory Coast. It was an all French-speaking country. And then my stepmom gave me away to the family. And I remember me going to that house. And when I got there, I was probably 10 years old. 10 or 11 years old.
If you can help me out with something, what was who was the family that she gave you to?
I don't know.
Oh, it was just a random family.
Just a family member from my father's side.
Oh, on your father's side, okay.
Yeah. So when I got there, normally, like in the house, that's how I know how important my father, were at the time. So we got there, and of course I was told I was staying there. So here's the African thing. You know how like here the mom makes dinner, dad can go grab his plate whenever the hell he wants to. The kids can go in there and she'd probably make their plate or whatever. Mm-hmm. Dad can sit with the kids or at the table and eat, or you can go sit whatever. In Africa, the mom is supposed to, once that food is done, she would take out a portion for her husband, go to the table and set it all up, and then dish out the kids and stuff like that and give it to them. This how at a younger age, this is why I knew how important I was and my father were. Is when we got there, his like where he sit, the crap that he eats in was given to me. You know, like the dish out, whatever, you know, they put it to where he sits. I mean, everything. 10 or 11 years old, you know, and it did that for a little over a month where I would wake up in the morning. I would just go sit down where he sits. I would eat. He would be sitting over there. I wake up. I would go play around. Dinner time, I would come in with everybody. I would sit in the same spot, eat. She would, you know, clear everything up. Till, as a kid, I felt so weird to the point where one day she put the food on the table. I picked it up. I went in the kitchen. I just dumped it in the same bowl where the other kids was, you know, and I said, yo, let's eat. And then we all ate out of the same thing. So right then and there, from that day on, they realized, like, okay, you don't want to do that, you know. I learned how to speak French really, really good, but then I lost it because 1991, the war was over. 1990, the war was over, and I ended up going back to Africa. When I got there, here's where, for me, for the few who knows me, know I'm very humble. Because when I got back to the country that I grew up in, that I loved, we couldn't walk up to a power and do this. There was no power. We couldn't watch TV. You couldn't walk in your shower and turn the faucet on and get water.
Was that because of the war?
Yeah, because
okay.
they had killed so many people and dumped up in the sewers or the water. They call this place contaminated and stuff like that. So when I go watch movies like I Am Legend, you know how, you know, some shit came through and messed up the whole entire spot, and then cars just parked everywhere, buildings abandoned. You can't eat this, you can eat that. You got to go look for scraps and stuff like that. Similar but worse, you know.
Yeah.
We took shower. Like, I was there until September 17, 1996. 1997. And from that time I got back, from the time I got back to that country, the time I left, I took showers out of a bucket. We ate, we used for power or to be able to see, we used candles, lanterns. We cooked on wood or charcoal. The only time y'all use charcoal is when y'all barbecuing for the holidays.
Right.
But we use that on a daily basis. We cook out of pots and pans on that. It was really different because you, as a younger age, you grew up in a big ass house. You have your own maid, your own driver, your own car. Your father comes in from work. We'll all go to the movie room and we'll watch. Back in the day, it was Betamax, the little small tapes. And then it went to V. So when people say you from Africa and think I lived in a village, when I start talking about my childhood, it'd be like, oh my God, you know, it's like a slave from America was sent by, I forgot the president. His last name is Monroe. I think James Monroe. If I'm not, you know, I don't know all the presidents here, but
shit, neither do we. But you cooking, keep going.
Yeah. So that president freed some slaves and was sent there. So they took part of his name and named the country Liberia, like Monrovia, Liberia, Monroe. So the flag is similar. You guys have all your stars, you know, of all 50, what is it, 52, 53 states or whatever. For us, it's just a one big star. Same, you know, red, white, and blue stripes. So we're brought the war. I know when I talk about me fleeing, we're brought the war. One of the reasons why, one of the things I came to know about America, man, America is you know, people in the government is vicious as hell. When my uncle overtook the government, what he figured out where this place called Firestone, imagine a big area with just a bunch of trees, and those trees produce rubber. And America bought that place like a penny on a dollar or something, like really cheap. So the president that made the deal, basically, they gave him millions. And then, you know how people do deal, like, listen, we're from America, we got millions.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give you 2-3 million American dollar, and you give us that place worth of a penny on the dollar. You rich, but over there, you give it to us for like 50 years. Like, those were the country resources that he was giving away for little or nothing. So when the coup happened and my uncle took over the government, became president, he was now negotiating with America, saying, listen, how much we owe you guys on this contract? We want that land back because that's rubber. You guys got your hands in our diamond mines. You got, America had their paw so deep in our country, there was no, the way it looked like would have been going for years and the country would have still been poor. So my uncle, who never graduated high school, president, and they felt like they could just walk, he's not smart. But that dude was like
brilliant.
He could devour a book, like whatever. He was like, how some smart people, like you think they're supposed to, well, Jay-Z, I don't know if Jay-Z ever graduated college, but a lot of these athletes or whoever it is that never graduated college, but nowadays they just book smart and they successful. And he was that dude. So he built things. He put the country to work. They acquired diamonds. I mean, they acquired so many resources that he sold it and got the money back. And he was now about to purchase that money making land back from the American government. And I don't think the American government really liked that very much, because there was a guy who was up here in America in jail. His name was Charles Taylor. And he was once in the army here. I guess he was discharged, or he committed some crime and he was locked up in jail. Homeboy vanished overnight and landed in Africa with guns and ammunition and everything. And basically the government and the American government paid him to go over there and overtake the country. Like, what's the movie?
War Dogs.
War Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
When you what's the TV show? Snowfall.
Mm-hmm.
All that when I'm sitting there watching it, America doing what they need to do to get money to support some other illegal arms dealer or to fight a war or something like that benefits. It was something just like that. Dude came in, killed a lot of people, man. Like, but that war, I wasn't there for it. So when the war was over, went back home. My father kind of lost his status, and then you go from having your own driver to walking miles to school.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy.
What happened to your uncle?
My uncle. Good question, though. Good question. A trap was set for my uncle. The guy who brought the war, or one of his generals, said, he needed to go somewhere so they can do peace, so they can talk peace, and it was a trap, and they captured him and tortured and killed him, and they recorded it. It's actually on YouTube. I can literally go to YouTube right now and type in his name, and it'll pop up.
Oh my
God. So, well, I was actually playing that day in Ivory Coast when it sent someone to fetch me, I guess. And when I got to the house, my stepmom, my auntie, the man of the house, and his wife, they was waiting for me out front. And when I got up, there was like, we've been watching the news, and they capture uncle, and they've been they're torturing them and stuff like that, and it's being broadcast live. So I walked in the house, and that was what I was watching on TV. By the time I got there, they had cut up both his ears. You know, it was brutal to see it as a young kid.
Ooh, talking about to make me cry.
Right, that's a brutal to see as an adult.
And they broadcast that on TV?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, they broadcast it on TV. He was the president. The movie, what's the movie? I can't think about it. It was like, it's three parts of it, and it's Gerard Butler, where the first one overtook the White House. Then the second one, he was somewhere in London, and then they captured him, and he was like,
"Yeah, I know some."
Don't let
White House down.
Don't let them kill me. You know, if you have to kill me yourself, do it, because I don't want my death to be brought up on YouTube, where somebody can just go to YouTube and pull up and see. You know, I don't want my boy to have to live through that. That was real, because that's exactly what happened. You know, like if you want, you know, nowadays what's not on YouTube. So, you know, we end up, you know, like the war was over. I went home. You know, life was different. You know, walking to school. I found this out later on, that my late grandmother, step grandmother, whatever, you know, my sisters, my stepmom, mother, and sister told her, now the fact that you guys are not making enough money anymore, and I was the favorite because I was an American child, that has to change, you know. Because if anything, he would pick his American son over your kids. So her goal was to fuck up my life. To, you know, I went from sleeping in the bed in the same room as my brothers to sleeping on the floor. And when I say living room, most living room here has a couch. It has carpet. Our living room was different. It was just a table, hard table, and chairs. You know, because, you know, things weren't different. We weren't watching TV anymore. You know, there was no power. So our living room was just a long table with chairs, you know, seating chairs and wood chairs. I went sleeping on the hard floor. From there, I was placed in the kitchen on the floor. From the kitchen, I was placed on the patio. I was the dirtiest kid in the house, basically. So her job, she was doing her job. I remember one night I was sleeping, and I was waking up by bullets. My father literally came on the patio and basically let off a few shots because there was somebody trying to break into the house. And it was easy because the way the house was built up, they had like a little space. All you got to do is just climb up and just get through that space, and you're right there on the patio. And in Africa, if someone kills someone at that time after the war, you just kill someone. People will come and see my dead body. They'll probably walk down a few part in the bush, dig a hole, roll me up in a cloth, and just toss my body and cover it up. That lady literally placed me in harm's way by doing that. And I think at the end of the day, what it was her end game. That somebody would have killed me on that patio, and there's no, you don't have an American son twice. It happened twice with my father. So then they moved me back into the kitchen. You know, it went on like that for years. And then one day, it was on a Saturday, and my father had left and went to another country for a peace talk, because even though we was there was still war the war was still going on, but it was going on outside, you know, in other villages and stuff like that. So my father left and went to Nigeria for a peace talk. And I guess while it was gone, it got pretty bad. it hit the city again. And that time, I was there for it. You know, it was too late to leave. A lot of talks were made with the American government, and it was asking me to leave, but I said I didn't want to leave without my brother because I could have taken somebody with me if I wanted to. And she wanted me to take her daughter or one of her son, but my option were when it came and asked me, I said I want to take my older brother because he was handicapped. Like he was born with a defect where his whole body grew, but just one leg just stayed infant, like a baby leg, so he couldn't walk straight. I was his cane, my shoulder. When we walking, I always have his hand on my shoulder. We walk and stuff like that. So when they came and asked me, at the time I just turned 15. Like who would I want to? And I said I would like my brother to come. And so when that decision was made, my stepmom did everything she could to procrastinate that paperwork. So I stayed for that war. And I remember us being in the car, fleeing to the Army base. People, we hit a street where bullets was flying. Like you could hear shooting and you just hear bullets flying. And I was in the back. We had a little station wagon. And I was in the trunk of the station wagon, but you can still see out the window. I mean, bullets was flying. So we got to the Army base. It's tough and chaotic. Was taken to the general home, and the idiot house is like the tallest house. You have to climb a whole shit of stairs to go to his house. It's like a target. So they were just shooting that thing all day. So he said, "Okay, we're not safe up here." He placed us with one of his lieutenants and his family. So we left that night and went over his house. Now imagine being on an army base where the sole purpose of that war is to capture that army base. So sometimes we'll be given 48 hours. And for 48 hours, they are shooting, they are bombing that base. Like you can be walking with someone, and by the time you look, the person is on the ground because straight bullet. My cousin died like that. We always playing soccer, and a straight bullet came and hit him. He ended up dying 2 days later. I remember sitting on a porch, cloud of my brothers, and all of a sudden we just hear, "Whoa." So the thing is, when you're hearing that sound, you have to look up to see where it's going to land because you can see it. So if it's landing somewhere, you got to run the opposite direction. It just I forgot what it's called. When you're watching those Vietnamese movies and they grab that crap and they just chuck it in that thing and then they take cover.
Mortar fire.
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
They were sending them things in the army base like hotcakes. I mean, the home in front of me got bombed. The man, rest in peace, man. The lady, her father was one of the funniest and nice guy. The thing dropped in the house. I saw him. That thing threw him out of the window. You know, I made friends with people that are on the soccer field. 2 days later, I see them carrying their bodies in wheelbarrow. That's the reason why today I've been back home since '97. I have never owned a gun because the shit that people do out here just I lived it. The shit people do on TV, people watch those war movies. I lived it. I own a gun someday, but I don't know. After that, I came back home. And I was placed. So my stepmom procrastinated so much that when the war was over, my uncle, who lived up here, sent for his daughter. Now I call her my sister because we grew up together. She lives in Kansas City now, and we came back home together. So I was living with my uncle. You know, you're in America. My father told my uncle, do not let him go live with his family because it will be two things. You'll either be successful or not. And I was mad when I heard that, but looking at my mom's side of the family, I'm glad that that didn't happen because, things got right with that side of the family. So, but at a younger age, I always ask why I can go see my mom or why I can't. My uncle is vicious, man. The dude, when his daughter got home, he took his daughter shopping, and the motherfucker gave me all his clothes that he was wearing when he lived up here. I mean, the bare bottom pants, the disco shirts, and shit like that. That's what I was wearing to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And in Philly, the thing is, when I came back, I went to Ohio, but he packed his bag and moved to Philly, where a lot of Africans were. So Philly, man, back in that time, man, Tim's, Levi jeans, the whole jean suits, that's what was popping. Jerseys, basketball jerseys. You can wear it. You can put the hoodie up, put the jersey underneath it. You got your Guess jeans with your Timbs. Yeah. Those were the outfits back then. Now imagine everybody going to school like that, but your boy going to school with bad bottom pants, disco shirts, and some fucked up shoes that he got from a dollar store. I don't know how much that's what I was wearing to go to school. I got beat up so many times. Like, I mean, it came to the point where like it was common to get picked on or to get beat on, and you're an African kid. So one day we came to Kansas City to visit, so I knew of KC. And I told my aunt one day, I was like, look, I got to come visit for the summer because I'm tired of living with dude. Like, he moved his daughter to the good school in the suburb, but I was going to the East Side High, lean on me shit in the city, where there's graffitis on the wall and all that. So that was the school I was going to. So I told my aunt one day, like, yo, I want to come visit Kansas City. So I went over there. That was my second trip to KC for the summer. Went to go pick up my cousin from school because he was playing sports. I walked into school. I'm like, because I'm still, a little bit of African still in me because I was there for a long time. So so I was like, I'm looking around. I'm like, is this the school? She's like, yeah. I was like, there ain't no graffitis on the wall. This kid passed by me, got a suit on. I'm like, does he work for the school? I was like, that's a student. So the counselor, she talking to me. So I told my aunt, I was like, I want to live here. So that's how come I ended up in Kansas City. It came to a point, I graduated school. School is important to me because due to the war, I literally, missed some years. So when I got back, the school was like, yo, we want to put you in the grade that fits your age. And I was like, I don't think my father would like that. I think he would want me to start where I left off. So I should have graduated in 99, but I graduated in 2001. So with that being said, in order for me to graduate that time, I had to go to school full time. So I think school starts at 8:20-ish in the morning. I wasn't leaving school until 9 o'clock at night. So imagine all day just in school, just doing what I needed to do to graduate. That's why, when I graduated, I say, for a split second, I was like, mental hell with college. But I ended up going to Johnson County Community College.
Yeah.
I have a couple kids. I'm a father of 3. Child support, that's. Listen, I never heard that saying until I watched when we used to say that to me all the time. It's cheaper to keep her. I think it was on Martin, one of Martin episodes. Mm-hmm. I never knew until when I was like, oh, that's what we got that from. But child support, let me. I went homeless 3 times, because of child support. And to the point it got really, really bad. I ended up here because at the time I was working for Google in Kansas City. I think it was my first time. A long time ago, I worked for a fiber company out of Dallas where I travel a lot, building fiber active cable and data center infrastructures and traveling around, the states and installing them things. So getting a job for Google was pretty easy. But at that time, I was at my worst. The job that was offered to me by a company that was paying like $32 an hour. They offered me the job, then they snatched it away and give it to somebody else. Then they called me back and was like, "Yo, you got the job, man. Listen, we're gonna to snatch it away and give it to somebody else. They did that shit 5 times. And the 5 times to snatch it away, they give it to Caucasian guys. No shit, you know. And then one day, my friend of mine, he was like, listen, this man is homeless. He's been living in his car for 8 months. I think that was the 3rd time they did it. He was like, "We got to give this man this job because it you know, he needs it." And they took the job. It's okay. You know, you would start. I didn't say you would start August. I think it was August 16 or something like that. You know, back in 2013, 2014 at the time. And I knew it was like, okay, if I get that job and I'm working, it should be extra money for me to go probably, you know, go get a room for rent or maybe sleep in a hotel because I knew it was about to get cold, you know, to snatch the job and to give it to somebody else. I spent all winter in my car. Like I would drive to a job site, do my job, and where everybody leaving, I'll just go around the corner, you know, to like an open parking lot, park my car and sit in my car. And like I went without, it was like Africa all over again, you know, not showering for days, living on water and bread and peanut butter. Like my sister, actually, when she got back from the military from overseas, she was the one that actually took me in her house for a few times, you know. And then I ended up getting a room for rent later on. And the guy was pretty nice, real, a retired Navy vet, you know, had a big house going through a divorce, 2 boys. He gave me this room, had my own bathroom and everything. And then one day they called, it was like, listen, you got the job to come to Nebraska. That's how I ended up in Lincoln, Nebraska. When I got to Nebraska, man, I was like, you know, child support is still haunting me, and what can I do to get some extra cash? Back in 2011, I used to promote clubs back in Kansas City, and then I ended up going off on my own. There was a spot called Avalon Ultra Lounge. That place was beautiful, so beautiful. The problem is the club I was at closes at 3, but because I crossed like 6, 7, 8 blocks down the road, that bar closes at 1:30, at 2:00. So it was perfect because we would come there, powwow, have a good time, and then for whatever hour and a half, they would just go down 7 blocks, then we'll kick it at the same spot. The highlight of that whole thing is, at the end of the day, I ended up hosting Jamar Charles. He was the running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. He was one time he was the top running back in the NFL, and I did his birthday bash. I got the call. It was like, yo, we heard you the promoter for the club, and Jamar Charles wants to do his birthday party there. He wants you to come meet him at a spot downtown. Went up and met him. Cool dude. I think I still got the picture on my other computer to this day. So I used to admire the DJ that I had, and then one day I was like, you know what? So when I moved up here, I was like, look, I got to pick up something else to you know, fill the time to get extra cash. And then I was like, you know what? Let me chase that dream. I always want to learn how to DJ, and I bought my first equipment because not only that was I making good money, man. The company was paying me $30-some an hour, unlimited overtime, and I was paying for my living, extra $1,200. And God is good. God is good. I was going to get my own spot. I was paying my child support on the regular. I remember one day, man, back then it was so hot, and I was walking home from work, like Kansas City, Missouri, to going to Kansas. I mean, I would leave work. I would start work, get lit up at 4:30. Sometimes we'll get home to like 10 o'clock at night because I'm walking home. And then one of these days, I walked past this dealership, and it was a Chrysler 300, and it just came out. You know, that body style, I look like a what is it now?
Rolls Royce, the
square, like a Rolls Royce Phantom.
Yeah.
And but this one was a 2013. And I was like, dude was like, you want to test drive? I was like, bro, I can't. I'm walking home, man. You see me sweating here in this heat. I said, I don't know, I can't afford that. But I said, one day though, one day. And right now, I own that car. It's parked in my garage right now.
No,
So God,
yeah.
God is good, man. But I bought my first DJ equipment. I went around Lincoln asking Lincoln, like, yo, even like DJ KB, D Love. I even went to Rozell's spot when it was Zell's Lounge, try to get in on there. It didn't really happen. And I met this white boy. His name is Jeff Witt. Jeff Witt was the one that actually plugged me up, man. He put me at Brothers. And then Brothers told him, yo, he really nice mixing music. And then he said, listen, we're gonna do the Real Yard for the Husker Game Days 2017. And in the Real Yard, he introduced the whole Real Yard to me. And then I started DJing. Fast forward now, nobody wanted to show me how to do this thing. You know what I mean? Like right now, I do this like not for the radio. I'm actually writing for my equipment. I own, like, imagine having nothing. Now I own I own a bunch of equipment. I just started my wedding business called Platinum Vibe DJ Wedding Services. I work for 2 radio stations now. I work for Red 94.5 in Lincoln. I do that mixing Monday to Fridays. I do a show on air from 3 to 5 where you hear me talking on the air. And I recently bought a house. I'm in my, I'm engaged.
Yeah. Blessings on top of blessings.
Yeah, I'm engaged. She's upstairs right now. I can't. So due to the fact that I live in Omaha now, I had to do my show out of Power 106.9 in the building over here. They caught me talking and caught me mixing one day, and now I work for Power 106.9. So like the marathon, I got the Crenshaw hat on, for a reason, because one day it was so hot that I pull up in the gas station just to go, underneath the thing, just to get, and this dude walked up to me. He had this seed in his hand. I think I still have that CD to this day. And he walked up to me. He's like, "Yo, man, you want to buy this CD?" I'm like, "Bro, if you look in the car, you see my blankets, my shoes, my clothes. The car is thick. It looked like, I'm a hoarder, but I'm actually homeless, man. I don't have no money to buy this." I was like, "But who the artist?" He was like, "Is this cat out of California? His name is Nipsey Hussle, and he just released this new album called The Crenshaw. He was selling the album for like $100. Basically, he bootlegged the damn album, and he was selling it for $50. So I was like, I don't have $50, bro, at all. I don't have it." He was like, "Well, what you can spare?" I said, "I got $10. He was like, so he hands me the Crenshaw CD. I popped that CD. I listened to that CD from 2013 all the way to 2000. When I moved up here was December 14 of 2015. That CD played in my car every day. The moment I bought the Chrysler, I ejected the CD out my Hyundai Sonata and slid it right into the Chrysler. And then I could have been dead a long time ago, and I could have given up a long time ago. But instead, the marathon it's been a walk,
Mm-hmm.
It's been a walk. And I'm blessed to be here because look at me now. I know I had a chance to go to Texas to kick it with a very great dude. Invited me to his home, cooked us an amazing breakfast. Drove us around. I know Trey. I know Lamar,
Mm-hmm.
his wife, his kids. I met my fiance. And today the only part, man, I don't want to get emotional, but the only part of my life that doesn't complete the whole thing is that my brother is not here to see it.
Yeah, you could share with us what happened. I know I don't want you to get too emotional, too personal, but you could have shared with us what happened with your brother.
So when I left Africa, and they got bad again. So my father ended up, after that war, when I left, he became head of state. So like for a short time, he was the president for a little bit, and then they give him the job. They call it Minister of State, but basically is what you guys call it, Secretary of Defense.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you got the president, vice president. Who's next? That's the Secretary of Defense, right?
Secretary of State.
Yeah, Secretary of State. So he became the Secretary of State. So the guy who brought the war for election, they ended up, for the strangest things, they ended up making that dude president. He was elected. So in order not to feel threatened, he basically locked all key members, all smart people. So my father was basically placed on a big compound where he couldn't leave. So basically, it wasn't. I mean, Nelson Mandela, man, was that man. That man is a pillar. Almost met him though, but basically, like my dad up on a compound where they couldn't leave. It was detained for years. So my stepmom now was in charge of the house. So it was my older brother, sister, her 2 kids. Somebody had to go. So she started treating the other kids bad, not feeding them, not whatever. So my sister and my brother fled the country because if another war would have broke out, they would have been left alone. They went to Sierra Leone and was living on a refugees camp. Well, my brother, not only the fact that he was a handicap, or should I say a cripple, but he ended up getting the discovery he had diabetes. So no medication. I remember my sister calling me in Kansas City to let me know what was going on. So I was working at McDonald's at the time. So I was sending our income tax at the end of the year just for medication or to process his paperwork so he could come home. So I want to come here to come to America. And she called me one day and was like, she has been asking my dad for him to go back home in Liberia because my mom was working for a Catholic hospital and she could have helped. And my dad basically didn't want that to happen. So I remember calling my father, man, and we begged him. It's life or death. And that man didn't budge. My brother died in Sierra Leone.
In the refugee camp.
In the refugee camp. I don't even know where he's buried.
Man, it's kind of hard not to get emotional hearing your story, man. But I like where you at today and overcoming all that. It just let me know like your character and how strong of a brother you are, man. And I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, definitely appreciate our friendship and getting to know you over the years, man. Because you one of the most humblest, the coolest people I've ever met in my life. You know what I mean? But I do have a question, like with you, because I know you've been kind of seeing what's going on with the refugees coming over here to America. Like, does that have a soft spot in your heart when you see that kind of stuff? Because I know a lot of people that I know who are conservative and in between that have very strong feelings about this stuff, and they just think these people are no good.
You know, like I have zero problem with that. Like, you know, to this day, I walk around knowing that I could have been, and the thing is, okay, like here in America, right? Like you get it at a certain age, 18, you probably go off to college, 21, you get back home, your parents say, look, you got to go do something with yourself. you go get your own apartment. You know, you work, you're doing your thing, you meet somebody, y'all, and then y'all, you know, you'll go build a family together. Back in Africa, man, it's not like that. You know what I mean? Like people be like really 40-something living in the same house with their parents. You know what I mean? Like grown. You know, the culture is just different. You know, if your family, if your parents are plugged in, like got a good job and plugged in with the city, then your dad can give you your job. You know, and that's a no-brainer. You just say, "Hey, my son works here." There's no application. There's nothing. You just bring him to work once and say, "Hey, your job is to do this. You're gonna get paid what you're gonna get paid." You know, and that's how. That's how the country, you know, used to handle this thing. But here, man, like what bothers me is people will get that opportunity to come up here, to make something, to change themselves, and then to follow the wrong path and give other refugees a bad name. You know, like in Philly, a lot of people from and I also say my country because my father's from Africa. I walk around all the time saying I'm the original African American. Mom is American, dad's from Africa. But all kid aside, man, there were, like people, Africans in Philly has gotten deported. There's a high number in Philly and Minnesota that have gotten deported back to Africa because they come up here, they robbing, they stealing. Because they got that dog mentality now. They kids who was in the war, who had to literally pick up a gun to fight for their life, got a chance to come up here and they're still trying to live that life. So they pick up guns, they rob and they're doing this. And oh wait, you're not from here? You got a green card? You're not. You go back home. So, but then I see other people how they get treated in the system here, and it breaks my heart, which is. Like in Lincoln, I see a lot of Africans and stuff like that, man, who just want a chance to go to school, to get an education, to get a better job, to support their family back home. Then I meet others, and I be like, "You're gonna get deported, just straight out the gate." Like when you actually, just one guy actually got called it. Like every time you go, like Main Street, when I DJ Main Street for a couple of years back in Lincoln, like this dude would go to the club every night and have a fight. I told him dead to his face one day. I said, "You're going to get deported." And the last time I asked, he got deported. Listen, man, like America is great, bro. Like it can be great. It can change people's lives, but it's just I realize now it's what you do when you come up here, bro. That's, you know,
it's mentality, man.
Yeah, it's that mentality what you do when you come up here. And refugees, man, like when I see a refugee, like, and you come up here and you waste your life, right? And you could find a hidden talent, and you waste your life. That could have been my brother's trip. You know, like that was my mindset for a long time. Like when my brother died, because bro, that process, just to get on papers to come up here, that's a long process. Yeah. A very long process. So when he passed away and I meet a refugee and like you just doing whatever, I'd be like, the reason why it took a long time, the reason why it took that long, because your name was on that list as well. And I look at that as that could have been him. That could have been his trip. And it was blown on you. And you came to America and you did nothing with it. And now you got deported back. I had that mentality for a long time. But you know, sometimes you just got like I have tats all over my hand and it's all his favorite things. You know, we used to watch this movie where, you know, he's like you love tigers and stuff, like a tiger here, his name here. I mean, every single tat besides one is all about him, which is why, like when I meet like people at my job, always ask me, why do I always, when I see a guy, like no matter what color, whatever, the first word that come out of my mouth, either sir or brother. You know, from that moment on, I started calling everybody brother. Like if I don't call you sir, I'll be like, "What's up, bro?" Or "What's up?" Like I would literally say brother. Like at work, I'd be like, "Okay, brother." Like in my email, I say, "Hey, brother, what's up?" And one day in the meeting, I was like, "Yo, why you calling me your brother? You know, why you calling me your brothers?" I was like, "Imagine if we all were." Because for me to pick up a gun to end your life, you not know it's crazy because people, you know, it's easy now. But if we all were, maybe life would be different.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Man, that's a dope, beautiful sentiment, man.
I'm thankful for you.
Man, for real, bro.
So thankful for you.
Appreciate you
And
showing up here.
I know this isn't probably the route that you would like to go, but if given the opportunity, I will beat the shit out your stepmama. Okay.
Listen,
I mean that from the bottom of my heart because she's out of control. I will really beat her ass, and that's just me telling you that I love you. Okay.
That's what love's here about. Hey, but I'm gonna tell you this though, brother. Like just hearing your story, man, to see where you at. I done been in the car with my family and heard a DJ Swift come on the radio. Like that's a real thing. You know what I mean? Like right where it come on. My little girl like, oh, ain't that your friend? You know what I mean? And it's just it make me proud to even say all that is. Absolutely, brother. So like,
definitely,
man, I hear you on the radio.
Salute,
you know what I mean?
Salute to you, man.
And it make me feel like I just feel so ungrateful right now. Yeah. I feel so ungrateful right now.
The stuff you've been through would have broke a lot of people, man.
Nah. All right, so
absolutely, baby.
I kept this part. So hidden talent. You know, I never knew what that was. One of my favorite movies is this movie called A Bronx Tale. I don't know if you guys seen it before. Robert De Niro, where Robert De Niro's son witnessed a gangster kill a dude out in broad daylight, and the kid didn't snitch. And then the gangster took the son on Robert De Niro's son on his wing. I watched that movie the fourth day I got back to America. And it was on HBO, and I remember that was one of the movie I actually watched all the way through. And at the end of the movie, they talk about wasted talent, you know. And for years, I searched, what is my hidden talent? Now I dance. I used to dance. I was in the dance group and everything like that. I almost went on tour with Tech Nine at one time, but I missed that trip. But I told my hidden talent was dancing, and then I picked up this thing where I asked a lot of people to help me, like people who I admired, like people back in Kansas, like, yo, can you help me show me how to DJ? And everybody said no, like just blew me off. YouTube. Everything I learned today is off YouTube because other DJs download their stuff on YouTube. They talk about how to do stuff like that. And when I moved to Lincoln, like 2015, 2016, I sat up all 2016. Never really DJed heavily like that. 2017, I got that spot at Brothers on New Year's Eve for the Husker game that was in the rail yard. Fast forward to 2019, I got signed on a contract to work for Red. I was doing DJing heavily every weekend. Now I'm doing weddings. I went to a weddings expo. I got this new sick DJ booth with the entire thing is a TV screen. First ever made. And I went to a wedding expo, man, and it went crazy. Where next year I'm hoping to just stack up. But which is why I was gonna holler at Jay, my man Jay over here, because I might be needing some stuff for. I don't know if you guys can. I'm gonna try to get it to the camera. But that's Cox work. But the whole entire thing is a. But the whole entire thing is a TV screen.
Yeah.
But this thing I grew to love, man. Nobody really, you know what I mean, showed me. And 5 months. 5 months before she died, she felt bad that she tried to give me away. You know, I was having a heart-to-heart conversation, and she's like, the reason why I didn't come around as your mom when you got back home because I felt bad that I tried to give you away, and it was my responsibility to take care of you. And we talked. And I was like, my life. Everybody's life has ups and downs. But we here. I went through a lot, and the conversation was being had when I was like here in Nebraska, and I was had a little bit of a name for myself. And then she was like, "What? So what are you doing now?" And I was like, "Well, I work for this company, but I'm a DJ now. I'm doing it. I love it and stuff like that." My mom was a DJ.
Your biological mom?
Yep.
Wow.
She had her own show. She had her own show on the internet. Like when I want to go visit, she showed me. She would just sit, go on the internet. She would talk. She would play. It was always R&B music and 90s, 80s, slow jams and stuff like that. She would talk to people. Like she wasn't like on the turntables or some DJing, but she did it at her own computer. Like she would talk to people. She had the most smoothest voice ever, man. Like she's a person like you be mad at your mom, but she would just when she come to you and she could just say, "I'm sorry, baby," and it's just done.
Yeah.
5 months later, and then she died right before COVID.
Yeah.
I got a call. Like I remember, like I was just talking about it too. I was like, I'm gonna go see my mom, here real soon. I was at a gate 25. I was sitting there with a few friends talking, and my phone rang. Now I know when a call comes from Ohio that late, like 11 o'clock, it's never good. And my heart just went straight to my mom. Like it was ringing, and I was with Valencia at the time, and she was like, "You gonna answer it?" I said, "I gotta say it's bad news. I think it's about mom. She had another stroke again. It's not good." And then when I answered that phone, my cousin Danielle was crying. I said, "My mom was watching TV and on her favorite couch. And I guess she had another stroke on the couch." So like people do this thing because they love it. Some people do it because of the money. Some people do it because of both. But at that moment, I knew I'd do it for a whole lot of reasons. One, it's my hidden talent because it was my mom's. Two, it saved my life. Three, I love the fuck out of this thing. Mm-hmm. And I went Power 106.9 threw me to the wolves. And they had a concert here for Ice Cube, and it just said here.
I remember seeing that concert.
Yeah, it was like here. You get a DJ for 2 hours. Let's see what you can do. By the time I left the stage, it was offering me a job.
Mm.
And that was recent too. Wasn't that just a few months ago?
Yeah, a few months ago.
Yeah,
I actually I took a picture with Dub C. If that's his I don't know which one is it that I found out they kind of fell out. And he was cool, man.
Yeah, Dub C, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, Charles, man, tell the people where they can find you at, bro. So, give them your socials. Of course, I'm gonna post everything in the link of the video when I post it online tomorrow. But
of course, if you're in Lincoln, come check out R&B Night once a month. It's a Nebraska bar. Trey been there. Yeah, it's a different vibe. And the thing is, go ahead, Trey.
I was gonna say it's an adult vibe.
Yeah,
that's what type of vibe it is. It's an adult vibe. Ain't gonna be no fighting. It's gonna be good music. 90s R&B, hip hop. You know what I mean? Early 2000s. It's just a good vibe, man.
And behind the whole truth is like Lamar, like like clubs. My brother Lamar don't come out no more, man. He's like another brother that I met where it's like he gives the best advice. Like I'm in love with my fiance. Like for me, I got I got love for everybody, but it's at a certain level. Like Lamar is, like I said at my birthday, he's the missing words in my thoughts. Like I'll be thinking about something, and I'm like, okay, let me call Lamar real quick. You know what I mean? And we'll talk and we'll chop it up. My fiance completes me. You know what I mean? But it's just certain people in your life that in your life for a reason. You know what I mean? And I'm glad I met him because through him, I met Trey, I met UJ. So it's like, you know what I mean? Now through Lamar again, now I'm meeting you lovely folks, here on the Zoom. But you can find me on Instagram, official_DJ Swift, Facebook, Charles Breeze, DJ Swift. And you can, if you want to catch me on the radio, Monday through Fridays, from 3 to 6. So from 3 to 5, I'm talking live between music at 6 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, I mix till 6. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I DJ live on Power 106.9 from 5 to 6. So I can, you see the time there, like Lincoln, 5 to 6, Omaha, 5 to 6, because, the cool thing is sometimes you won't catch Power 106.9 in Lincoln. You got to have a really damn good car to catch it. But if not, man, like, radio is radio. Like you can do 50 things. I can be DJing live at 5 here, live at 5 there, live at 5 over here. It's just the exposure. Mm-hmm. So, but catch the mix, man. So tap in and hopefully one day I can go DJ in Texas.
Yeah, we gonna get you there, man. This is a platform that we are working for to build for everybody, man. That's why I want to have you on. I knew you had an extremely powerful, motivating story, man. Like I said, I appreciated every moment of this. Definitely appreciate you showing up, man. And everybody, y'all check out Swift. Like I said, I'll post his socials in the link, the podcast, and the link of YouTube, so y'all can check him out and reach out to him. Man, if y'all don't got nothing else, I'm gonna wrap this up, brother. I'm gonna put a button on this because I can't follow that up with nothing.
Right.
Man, thank y'all, man. Thank y'all for having me. Like I catch the show all the time on YouTube, and sometimes I would tap in on it on Instagram when you leave the little clip. Mm-hmm. Y'all be going at it, bro. Y'all listen. When I'm sitting at work and stuff like that, I got the 3 monitors at work and stuff. So like on the screen over here, I would just tap in on the Instagram. I'm on YouTube and just have that joint be playing. And I'll be sitting with these headphones on. I'll be dying laughing. Everyone, what are you laughing at? I'll be like, you don't want to know. You wanna know.
No, tell him shit. Tell him. Fuck that. Tell him.
It was an episode where you was talking Jay, and you had to stop, and because Trey was doing something over there, he like no wait. It was a screen, like his screen was half over here, like he was like, bro, why your screen like.
Bro, he do it all the time.
He was trying to embarrass me, man. Instead of just sending me that
text. Because I was listening. It was getting good, and when he stopped, and everybody started laughing, so I stopped working, and I went to the thing, and I rewinded, and I'm like.
Then you had to look at the fool on the camera.
He had the whole screen, but his face was like here.
Listen, Swift, I'm on background number 25, man. I've been in every corner of my house.
He's like, I'm trying to make some shit work over here.
Trying to make this man happy.
But man, listen, man. I would like one of these days. One of the things like I would love to come to one of these days, Jay and I was talking yesterday, and I was like, listen, I'm because I used to broadcast live over the pandemic, you know what I mean, because DJ was on lockdown, so I had the whole broadcast and live thing. I did create this thing called Mixcloud for DJs, where you can build a broadcast where you won't get shut down because music rights. So I got the whole giddy up, and one of these days, I would love to come showcase the talent on your network,
Oh yeah.
on your platform,
Oh,
and sooner or later, man, there's a school, there's a lady I'm talking to where I'm hoping to go, and where I could show a bunch of kids how to DJ and stuff like that. So like, appreciate God. I guess my end of the day is hate. If you have hate in your heart, because I had it, it won't get you far, because all you will be blinded by is the hate you have in your heart. But if you humble and you realize that, if you humble around people, you never know where that humble can get you. You know what I mean? Like, and that's it. Like that, I feel like that's everybody has their own key to the marathon. But for me, forgiveness and humble. I forgive, a lot of people. I put that hurt behind me, and I became really humble, because I could have been dead a long time ago. Life could be worse, because on my best day, on my worst day, is somebody's best. So,
yeah,
man.
But I appreciate, Jay, man, what you're doing. It's a beautiful thing, man. This platform that you have, you're very good at it. You should do radio, bro. No cap.
Hey, listen, we have to see where we go from here. You know what I mean? I ain't turning nothing down but my collar.
Yeah, you got all of y'all, man. All of y'all, this platform, like, seriously, because like on a weekday, I go to the studio and I sit in the studio by myself. Like, there's nobody there with me, and I'm talking to microphone. To the point where sometimes, like, I will use a picture. Like, if I want to talk about something sentimental, I'll put my sister, like a family thing, I'll put my sister picture up, and I'm talking to my sister. If it's something funny, then I probably put Lamar picture up, because that nigga a character, and I will sit there, will be, But now I'm so okay with it. I can just go in and strike up a conversation, but it's like I'm talking to someone.
Yeah.
And you guys, like, I love listening to you guys, man. I keep doing it.
Yeah,
I keep doing it.
Man, appreciate that. Man, and on that note, man, we gonna get up out of here. Listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said, y'all know what to find DJ Swift at. Look in the show notes. We definitely gonna put the links in there. And we'll see y'all next week with another episode of Unlabeled the Podcast. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.